Today you join me with the 2024 MG HS, and in this video I'm going to give you a walk around tour of the car, give you a look at the interior and get it out on the road for a drive. Now, a special thanks to Frasers of Falkirk for loaning me this MG today, so make sure you can go and check them out. Now, let's start off with this car. This is one of the larger SUVs that currently MG offer, and it sits above the ZS. Now, this has been all new, redesigned as of this summer in 2024. It was launched at Goodwood Festival of Speed. Now, up front, you're going to notice we've got these digital matrix lights up front. Very sleek with the kind of tri-lights, and there's three of them individually and then one big one up front. Do have parking sensors front and rear, as well as a host of 360-degree cameras. Now, it is worth mentioning this one is a trophy model. There is a lower trim version called the SE. However, the trophy one gives you all the bells and whistles, and you're looking at about £28,000 for the petrol manual, and then a little bit more for the dual clutch automatic that we have in this car today. Now, this one's finished in a black paint with a black interior. It's doing all right. I said it wouldn't be my first choice colour, but I think it looks okay. Now, out with the slim headlights up front, we do have the proud MG badge up on the top of the bonnet here. And yeah, it's pretty centred, pretty flush. Looks quite good. We've got this grille going across. It kind of gives me vibes of the current Lexus RX a little bit, just the way it goes down. And we've got the splitter down below with your radar cruise and things down there. Now, we do have fake vents around the sides, unfortunately, in this one, but it's just that SUV thing. It worked the way around the side. We do have Bridgestone tyres. That impressed me. I wasn't expecting to see that on this car today. These are 19-inch diamond cut two-tone wheels with the black and the silver. They do all right. They just look like standard wheels, but a nice fixed sidewall for our bad pothole roads. Now, we do have some body-coloured arches on the side, and we have this kind of material here that looks like a faux carbon fibre to me. There's an interesting design detail to add to an SUV, but it certainly splits up the side of the door sill here. Again, we've got this kind of diamond pattern print material going across the side with a little sensor in there. 360-degree camera again in the unit for the mirror. Overall, pretty, there's in a little bit of the kind of angular styling here, but not too much to say on the side. A little bit of chrome rounded doors, and we do have the roof rails up top. So as we make our way around the rear of the MG, you're going to notice straight off the bat this new rear designed tail light is a bar light, which is in trend at the moment, and I quite like how they're clear tail lights as well, which harkens back to me to remember the Lexus IS Mark 1 that had the clear hit tail lights that kind of started that off in my eyes. Yeah, I think that's quite good. We do have dual exhaust tips again with this kind of faux carbon fibre material going across the rear, and then we've got this kind of diffuser looking bit under here. This is kind of ruggedy looking plastic. Of course, parking sensors, camera, MG badge in the middle. Kind of a little spoiler here for aerodynamics, but what you want to see is the boot back here. We've got over 500 litres of boot space with the seats up, and just under 1,500 litres of boot space with the seats folded. Now, the seats do fold 60-40. They fold relatively flat, and as you can see, good enough height and quite a good lip there. There's not too much of a load lip. Underneath, of course, not really any storage, what we see more and more these days, just a tyre repair kit. But we do have storage and cargo nets at each side of the boot. So that's just going to help you, put in items you don't want to roll around, maybe a bottle of coolant or something like that you might want to carry back there. But overall, a decent size, squared off. It is all carpet lined as well, which is a premium car material. I have been in cars more expensive that do not have that material on the side of the boot, so that is nice to see. Now, this MG HS, as you can see, has a rather large boot, over 500 litres of boot space with the seats up, but with the seats folded down as shown here, with over 1,400 litres, I think it's 1,486 litres of boot space to be exact. They do fold 60-40. We do have this little cargo cover here that you can pull it harder to do with one hand, but there we go. And it's lined with that kind of vinyl plastic material. It's lightweight, but you can get rid of that and put it in your garage or whatever if you wanted to utilise all that space for a big European trip or something like that, or doing a dump run, whatever it may be. So we've got a decent sized boot for a family friendly SUV, and of course it does have an electronic tailgate. So at a touch of a button, the tailgate's going to close. So when you jump inside the front of the MG, you're going to notice these two 12.3-inch screens. Now this kind of reminds me of the current BMWs and maybe some previous Mercedes with the two screens together. Gives it quite a modern touch. Now what also MG have given us is some hard key buttons for like your defrost, hazard, fan speed, and a home button, which is nice to see. We do have some buttons as well on the steering wheel. Right hand side, your volume control, and you've got favourites for your call. Left hand side is like your speak recognition, and you can change things in the screen. But yeah, you sit up nice and high, you've got a good visibility out front. You can see the bonnet fairly far ahead, and you can see the edges of the bonnet, the way it's got the wee kind of bits designed at the edge of the fender. I think that looks quite good just for placing the car and judging it. And it does have cameras and sensors, but I don't know if you want to manually park it, you have got good visibility all around. Build quality, feels all right. It's rubberized, it's got kind of full stitch looking across there, and then across the dash here we do have a soft vinyl material with the cinnamon stitching again, which I quite like. It would not be a Cars of Glasgow video without a glove box reveal. As you can see, this is fairly cavernous. It isn't lined with fuzzy stuff, but it is softly damped, and it's really big, which is nice to see. So it's going to be family-friendly Cars of Glasgow pass. We do have two cup holders in here. They do have the little divots in there that allow you to maybe put a can or something like that, and it fills that space. We do have USB-A chargers and a 12-volt power outlet as well. So yeah, that's quite handy having 12-volt power outlet in the middle there. This is your controller for the transmission for the DCT automatic. We've got hill descent control, automatic parking brake, and the electronic parking brake, as well as a wireless charger. And under here we do have storage, which is lined with fuzzy stuff at the bottom, but is plastic around the sides. And yeah, it's got a decent size armrest here with the stitching on it as well. This doesn't really pivot or anything or slide back and forward, it's fixed, but yeah, it's comfortable enough and you can rest your elbow on it, and it does a decent job. Now on the dash as well, you're going to notice we've got these silver lines going across with the black gloss plastic in there. Adds a little bit, I guess, of visual dimension to the car. Then it's breaking up the kind of cabin, and I do admire MG for doing something with the cabin in here. And then we've got these little silver bits around the air vents here that mimic what we're seeing on top of the dash. Overall, it looks good. It's got a decent feel, nothing's like squeaking and rattling, yeah, it feels quite solidly built, nothing's given it as much push. So I really admire at least the perceived quality of this car for a sub £30,000 car in 2024. The steering wheel itself has reach and rake, which is manual, as you can see, like so. Now the seats are adjustable, electric. This again is the Trophy trim, which is the top tier trim. But yeah, they are height adjustable. You can all multitude of adjustment. Get yourself comfortable. I'll mention again, I'm 5'11", plenty of headroom, shoulder room, and I can get myself comfortable. So drivers over 6 foot should be all right, as well as shorter drivers, because you can lift the seat and pull the steering wheel towards you. Now the steering wheel itself has got that kind of octagonal shape. It's got the perforated rail on the side. It does feel good in hand, and then we've got this kind of brushed metal effect plastic around the airbag cover here. Again, it looks all right. It's a bit of a illusion with the black gloss in between the two silver bits. It looks like it's clear, but actually it's solid. But yeah, looks all right. We've got all around electric windows, electric mirrors, and down the right here we do have the bonnet leash. Pull that twice to access the petrol engine if you need to do something to it. And just beside the bonnet at least, we do have the dimming headlight switch if you need to do that if you're towing. And then just above that, there's a little bit of storage in there, maybe for putting sunglasses or something small in there. It's not lined with fuzzy stuff, but at least you've got a little bit extra storage to the right hand side of the driver. And being an MG, wipers on the right, lights are on the left. There's this little delicate switch in between the indicator stalk that allows you to go from full beam, side lights, or just all the way to the right to leave it to auto. Now, while I'm in the passenger seat, I want to show you this. So when you step out, the door sill goes and extends below the sill. So that means your back of your legs are not going to get dirty, especially for this winter dirt and grime. So when you go out, it's nice and clear. So if you can see that, it wraps around the door sill. I think that's always worth mentioning, especially in a climate like ours in the UK, just so you're not getting your back of your legs dirty. And as you can see, quite a nice height just to get in and out of the car. Now let's have a look in the rear of the car. Go ahead and open the door. They open fairly wide, which means you're going to be able to get a child seat in there, not too bad. And people buy SUVs because of the ride height. We do have child seat points there, nice and easy to access. I'll jump in. I'm 5'11" and I've got plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder room, knee room. Then you could quite easily get 3 adults or 3 teenagers back here side by side. And what impressed me the most as well when I opened the back door this afternoon was the fact that there's very little load floor, transmission hump in the back. Like, this is quite flat. This reminds me of the Mark II Lexus RX that I used to have that had quite a flat floor. I know more and more SUVs that share like a plug-in hybrid and petrol models have a high transmission hump. So hats off to the engineers who designed this car, because that is really handy having that flat, because that just means you can have 3 people side by side, no bother. We do have like mat pockets here, again lined with the fuzzy stuff in there, so it's a nice wee neat detail. Nothing's going to rattle and scratch. We do have some climate vents up here as well, and we do have USB-A chargers back here. And yeah, overall quite a nice place to be. Feels quite airy. Got a light headliner, dark seats with kind of an orangey cinnamon colour stitching. And we do have 2 cup holders back here. A little bit of black gloss plastic around the side, but not the end of the world. And the cup holders do have little rubber bits in there. We've got double stitching in the centre armrest. So overall, I think MG have done a good job back here, considering the price point of this car. Again, it is under £30,000 for this trophy model that you're seeing today. So this 4-cylinder produces 169 brake horsepower, and you get to 0 to 62 in under 10 seconds. Now, there is a plug-in hybrid that has over 300 horsepower and around 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. That might be more suited to company car buyers or somebody who appreciates going electric only. I do believe it's 70 miles of electric only range on the new HS plug-in hybrid, but today's model is the petrol only variant. Alright, so we're driving the MG HS 1.5 petrol. Let's give it a go. So this car is equipped with the DCT or dual clutch transmission. It is a 7-speed. There is also a 6-speed manual available if you like to roll your own gears. Now, this little petrol engine gets around 169 horsepower, 275 newton meters of torque, and 0 to 60 is going to be around 9.6 seconds. Now, you can increase the performance going for the plug-in hybrid version, but this is probably going to be fine for most people, especially private buyers. I think you wouldn't need to spend the extra outlay for the plug-in hybrid. Let's give it a little go. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Now, you can hear that engine a little bit further up in the distance. It's not the most isolated SUV on the market. However, it is compliant, and yeah, it does a pretty alright job of handling and dealing with the road surface. You're hearing the engine more than you are hearing, let's say, exhaust or transmission. So every car's got a bit of something. That's my little note take. Now we'll go around this roundabout here for the body control. It is leaning in a little bit of body roll on the left there, but to be expected of a crossover like this. Now, we do have a host of gadgets and safety tech in front of us, like the eye radar sensor thing up there, as well as things like your lane departure warning. So the car does come with a host of safety features, from lane departure warning, road sign recognition, the little sensor there to make sure you're looking forward and paying attention. So yeah, the driving position's all right. That's what people are buying this kind of car for. You want the space, practicality, and you do want to be able to sit up a little bit higher than maybe your average hatchback, and it does a good job of view out. Visibility's all right. The mirrors are nice and large on the side, so good visibility from the side, and there's not too much of a blind spot from the C-pillar. And parking's relatively easy because we have cameras all around. This makes life a little bit easier for us to park. And we are off, leaving this roundabout. National speed limit. Let's see how we go. 3, 2, 1. and we're off. So it definitely, you can feel the front wheels doing their bit, spinning round and for turning. But yeah, do you know what? You're not buying this for dynamic engagement. You're buying this for family practicality and what it can do. So, you know, yes, if you want an outright off-roader, this is not the car for you. But if you're wanting an on-the-road, you know, practical family car to put baby seats in, or maybe you've got a lifestyle and golf clubs, or so we're going to say boogie boards, surfboards, you want to fold the rear seats down, this is a practical car for that. And again, please bear in mind this car's under £30,000 for the top spec Trophy model. There's not much you can say more than that. You get the 2 big screens, comes well equipped, and these nice toasty heated seats. And the leather on them's alright, you know, we've got a nice kind of leatherette material, but yeah, it's doing an alright job. Having these configurable screens in front of us, we do have the practicality of being able to change the screens in terms of the look, just like we've seen in the Cyberster. Now that was a good test of the brakes, so they were quite linear and progressive, which was quite nice. It wasn't too harsh or sudden. Now we'll do a 3-point reverse here, into reverse like so. Wide angle lens, we've got a helicopter in the background taken off. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video on the MG HS. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, and I'll see you next video. Ciao! And this is the key for the MG lock, boot release and unlock there. And the MG also comes with keyless entry. Push your little button there, the door unlocks, and then push this button again, and the windows fold in and car locks.